Our worship Brother Schwartz.
With the membership decreasing, and what is your stance, or how are you going to get the millennials to come out and be part of our fraternity? The people who are constantly on Facebook, constantly on electronics, constantly doing things that are that quick, and yet our fraternity still seems to sit in the dark ages.
Brethren, the question, in a shorter form, I believe, would be, how are you going to have the millennials attend lodge meetings and lodge functions?
Brethren, when we're planning lodge meetings, grand lodge functions, etc., we need to make ourselves much more available. We are allowing ourselves to wallow in the morass of the lack of social media. We need to address that, to get Facebook pages up and running, to get Twitter accounts up and running. And the brethren of whom I spoke that have the ability and acumen to do those programs will be tapped to assist us in achieving that effort.
Great question. I have a 27-year-old son here who's actually attending the event, so I guess I'm hoping that it's rubbing off a little bit, because I got at least one of them here. I have to say that the younger people are not the only problem. We're relying quite a bit on social media as we move forward to spread the word, to be a part of our communication. But there are a whole lot of guys out there that are my age and older that might not be as adept to that type of technology. We can't forget them either. So we need to be really, really good with communicating to all our brethren, not just the younger ones. And the thing is, I think the big key, Joe, is that it's communication, that we get them engaged, that we talk to them, we ask them to come out. When we see them, we acknowledge them at the lodge. I think these are all important parts of being accepted as part of the group and getting them to come back. Thank you.
Great question, Right Worshipful Sir. I have had the privilege in my travels around the state for the last 8 years of speaking with a lot of millennials and younger Masons. And their issue, as I said in my speech, is that a lot of times they feel that a lodge meeting is not a good use of their time. I worked with a young man who turned to me, I said, "Do you go to lodge meetings often?" He said, "No, I really don't, because I'm tired of listening to a bunch of men argue about the bills and then going downstairs and having coffee. We need to do more." That's when I spoke about the paradigm shift and about presenting programs in a lodge. Make the Master Mason degree something that is really meaningful to these men. And when you initiate a brother, he's an entered apprentice. There's no reason why you can't drop your lodge down to EA after you've opened and conduct business on the EA degree. Get him in there from day one. Get your fellow crafts in there right away. Get them working. One of the lodges that I belong to, every off night, there are meetings downstairs, and you've got the EAs here working on their ritual, the fellow crafts over here, you've got some other brothers over here working on lodge business or just sitting around talking. But they're all engaged. That's what we need to do. We need to engage these young men from day one and give them a reason to come to lodge rather than stay home and watch Dancing with the Stars.
Additional questions? Brother Schwartz.
Right Worshipful Sirs, I think as far as I can see, there's a significant amount of people that don't even know what a Freemason is. So that might be something that I would like to hear addressed. Not like I want to know, what can you gentlemen do about that? So the social media thing, which our lodge uses very successfully, works to get people to come out to some things that we sponsor. but there's a tremendous amount that don't even know what we are. Thank you, sir.
Brother Schwartz, may I put together your question as what would you do to promote Freemasonry among non-Masons?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Excellent question. I'm going to say that your lodge is one of the ones that does a great job of promoting Freemasonry to non-Masons. You have your whole community come out on your Sunday breakfast. That's a great way to start. And I think that's something that we need to do lodge-wise, district-wise, statewide, is do more about presenting ourselves to the public, having public events, inviting open houses and open events where we have spaghetti dinners or whatever, where it goes out to the public. So when they come in and say, what's this about? Oh, we're raising money for this, that, or the other. Well, why are you doing that? That's what we're about, to open the communication and let us start. Second part is the website. We can add some more information to that. I see a number of emails that come through and they say, I'd like to join, what do I need to do? I think we could do a better job of putting more information out there as far as the detail of what Freemasonry is and maybe some of the details as to how to join and what some of the criteria is. Thank you.
Social media is great. It really is a wonderful, wonderful tool. Sometimes we over-rely on it. We need to get out there, get our name known. But remember that men only know Masonry through the lives of individual Masons. We, all of us in this room, are the ambassadors. We're also the mentors for our younger brethren, to bring them along. So we have to give them a reason to come to the lodge, as I said before, excite them, make them want to be there. And you can move Masonry forward because you excite one new brother, one young millennial, and he starts talking about that to his friends. And one of his friends will then come in and join. And then you'll get 2 more people to come in and join. I joined Masonry because my fraternity brother in college wouldn't shut up about being a Mason. And he spoke to me every day about how great this fraternity was, until finally one day I said, Alan, I need a petition. And I became a Mason 42 years ago. We are the ambassadors. We are the ones who can do this. So while Grand Lodge can help you, it's incumbent upon each and every one of you in this room to go out and find good quality men and bring them to the table to enjoy the banquet of Freemasonry.
Brethren, I trust you understand, as Junior Grand Warden, I have 3 brethren ahead of me, most worshipful and right worshipful sirs, whom I will be tasked to serve and support in their endeavors. I assume my first year will be a crash course in learning and getting the coffee and donuts. But the embers of Freemasonry do not really burn in every man's heart, but it is up to us to be the embodiment of the tenets of that for which we stand, the things in which we believe in, to cause those men with whom we come in contact every day to say, I want to belong to what he is. Thank you.
One more question. You're on.
Earlier we heard a question about younger membership and bringing them in. I'm curious what kind of plans or ideas you might have to engage the brethren that have been Masons for a long time and who have seemed to have lost their way coming to the lodge. What can we do to bring them in and bring them back to the lodge so we can share their experience?
The question, I believe, is what are your plans or ideas to re-engage Masons who are currently not active? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've got a brother you haven't seen for a while in lodge. Pick up a phone, give him a call. Brother Smith, why haven't I seen you in lodge? Is everything okay? Can I give you a ride? You'd be surprised the answers that you get. Unfortunately, too often we just call a brother to say, by the way, you know, you didn't pay your dues. You're going to be suspended. If you don't see your brother in a lodge, give him a call. Find out what's going on in his life. Invite him down. If he doesn't drive, offer him a ride. Get him down to the lodge. Make the lodge meetings exciting and interesting. Interesting, convenient, enjoyable. It's a great concept. What I said to you before, I will reinvigorate the Masonic Speakers Bureau so there'll be speakers out there and we can bring them in. Talk about a myriad of subjects. Look in your own lodges for good speakers, or have an event. Have a cigar night if you are so inclined. Have a beefsteak. Have a table lodge. Not even a table lodge, just have a festive board. Have a meeting, then go downstairs, have a wonderful dinner. Word will get out. But engage those men that you don't see and call them up. It's very, very simple. Just make a phone call, drop by their house. If they're a shut-in, bring a plate of food to their house after a meeting. Offer them a ride. Do the same thing, by the way, with our widows. We need to take care of our widows too. But we can do this. It just means reinvigorating our lodges, making our meetings interesting, and reaching out to these brothers that we haven't seen in a long time. My lodge is doing it, and it's working. Thank you.
Brethren, again, I throw the onus back on you. We have lodges in my district that call brethren they haven't seen for a while. That is incumbent upon all of us. As your junior Grand Warden, I will gladly assist you in this effort. If you think my calling a brother would help, I'd be more than willing to do that. But this is something we all have to accomplish together. For whatever reason, brethren's cable toes get knotted and they may no longer have rides to lodge, as Brother Monticelli said, or for whatever reason, they're tired of paying bills and having coffee and going home. So I will enlist the aid of the worshipful masters, senior and junior wardens of each lodge to ensure that they are reaching out to the brethren of their particular lodge to make sure they have the ability to come to lodge in the first place, and secondly, that they are providing valuable education to the brethren when they get to that lodge, so that maybe a small glimmer of light can shine forth from the east to those brethren who have slipped into the darkness and are not quite willing to continue to be the Mason they started out as. Thank you.
I think it's several different things. Excuse me. One is, I think the communication part. Somebody usually doesn't come back because they feel disengaged. They feel like they're not welcome, that they're not part of the inner circle. They're not part of the family anymore. So we need to work on getting them back in, calling them up, saying how are things going, what's going on with the family. Maybe not asking them to come lodge right away. The second part of that, and we do this in Mount Holly lodges, we feed everybody for free. There's a 50-50 that'll help offset the cost, but there is no cost for dinner. So when you get them out, there's a free meal. My dad, God rest his soul, used to come just to eat and say hello to everybody and then he'd go home. He never came upstairs. Even when I was worshipful master, never came upstairs. All right, son, have a good time, see ya. Gotta let the dog out, goodbye. So, you know, this is important. And the other issue, and I'm gonna caution this and throw this out to everybody for food for thought, is our events are getting cost prohibitive. We're running events now that are getting up there in 2, 3, 4 of them in a month's time for somebody on a fixed income, young guys that are just starting out with a family, or older guys that are on a fixed income. They're not able to participate because of financial reasons. We got to do something to try to help them offset that cost or keep the cost down. I think that's it's an important part of why we get together, and I think it's important that we address that too. Thank you.
Brethren, I'll ask you for a hearty round of applause for our candidates. We'll continue for Grand Lodge trustee. We'll begin with